Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Poonam Mehta. I am a human design coach and an energy healer. And in today's video, I will be talking about your sacral response, exactly what that is, how to figure out if the responses you're getting are truly your sacral responses, and whether you're making the correct decision for yourself or not. So before we get started, if you've not already subscribed to my channel, be sure you subscribe to my channel to get more notifications, to get more videos on human design. And also, I am going to be running a 3-day bootcamp on how to use human design in your business. This is my 3-day event called the Human Design Business Basics Bootcamp. So if that is something that you're interested in learning exactly how to utilize human design within your business, how to simplify your life, how to reduce overwhelm in a way that not only makes your life easier, but also helps you attract abundance, then make sure you sign up for the bootcamp. I'll leave the link to that in the description box down below. And so with that, I'm going to get started into this video. Okay, so what is a sacral response? Sacral response is something that comes out of your sacral center. Simply put, this is the way sacral beings are going to make their decisions. It doesn't matter whether you have an emotional authority. Now, if you have a defined sacral center, there's two possibilities here. One is that you have an emotional authority and you are a generator or a manifesting generator, or that you are an MG or a generator, but you have an undefined emotional center, and therefore your sacral center is defined, and you have a pure sacral authority. So what is going to happen in both of these scenarios is that anytime you need to enter something, you have to make sure that you're checking in with your strategy, right? So as a generator, you have to wait to respond. As a manifesting generator, you have to wait to respond to inform. And when you wait for something to respond, right? When the thing appears in your physical surroundings, when it appears, it could be a sound, it could be a thing, it could be a sign, whatever it is. Now there's a sign. Now there's a person, now there's a voice, whatever the case may be. Now you have to respond to it. And the way you respond to it is using your authority. I'm not going to go into emotional authority yet. I'm going to talk about the sacral authority first, and then I'm going to show you how emotional authority adds another layer onto it, all right? So the way it happens with sacral authority is you're going to get that thing to respond to, and then you're going to ask your sacral a yes/no question. Your sacral center is going to tell you whether you have enough energy to do this thing. Your sacral center is a very much in the moment type of an authority. It is going to tell you whether right now you have enough energy to do this thing. And when you don't listen to your sacral center, chances are, number one, you may leave the task incomplete and not completed, which is going to end up leading you into frustration and anger if you're a manifesting generator. Or it could be that you are entering something that is going to introduce a lot of resistance in your life. And that's what your sacral response is going to tell you. Now, the way your sacral response works, it's a yes/no response. Well, it's yes, no, and not right now response. There's 3 responses. So you ask your sacral a yes/no question, and without letting your mind bypass it, you simply respond in grunts. So yes would look like mm-hmm. No would look like mm. And not right now is there's no response. There's no movement. There's nothing. It's as simple as that. And because it is so simple, it sometimes becomes complicated because we want things to be very clear. However, we also subconsciously like complications, because if it is that simple, then it can be right. And so when you get such a clear response, but your mind wants something else, you're going to second guess that response, and you're going to keep asking your sacral that thing over and over again. So the trick over here is ask a yes/no question. Don't pause. The biggest issue I've seen with people is that they pause with giving their sacral answers, and that's where the issue happens. The mind gets a chance to intervene. The second place where I've seen issues happening is that they do it mentally. They'll ask the question mentally, they will answer it mentally. You can't do that even because your mind is going to be very deceptive here. It's going to creep in, and your mind really operates from a place of conditioning. All your undefined centers are going to go through your head and talk out of your head and your ajna. So it is so important for you to make sure that you're doing it loud. Say the question out loud. Say the grunts out loud. And you will feel within your body whether that response, if you're forcing yourself to say yes to something when it shouldn't be yes, you will feel the unnaturalness of that response. The reason why the sacral operates in grunts is because this is a very old center. This is one of our very primal centers. This is from the time where we did not have our vocal cords developed, and we used to talk in grunts. That's where this comes from, and this is the center that we're relying on in order to get our answer on things. Now, if you are someone if you're a manifesting generator, and especially if you have a direct connection from your sacral center through your throat, not through other centers, but directly from your sacral center to your throat, then you're going to notice a visceral response as well. Like it's going to be it's going to be either that you verbally say it out loud, or it's going to be a very bodily response where your body literally moves forward. You start getting up to do it. This is because your throat center is also your communication and action center. So when the sacral gets excited about something, it's just going to quickly get up. It's going to quickly lean forward. Things along those lines. So depending on the center that your sacral is connected to, your sacral response is going to be a little bit different. And that is something to pay important attention to. My sacral response could end up being a little bit different than your sacral response. And that's something, again, that you need to experiment with, because human design is meant to be an experiment. So the way I recommend my clients do it is that start with small things and let your mind intervene sometimes, but document it. Let your mind intervene sometimes and do the thing that you compulsively want to do, but your sacral is saying no to. And jot down the outcome of what ended up happening when you did not listen to your sacral. As you do this more and more, you're going to start building confidence in your own sacral responses, and it's going to start becoming more clear to you as to when you should be listening to your sacral responses. I started with small things, and there was a point in my life where I was still nervous about using my sacral to make big decisions in life. It was just so freaking scary for me. And once, what happened in my life was that I made a very big decision in my life. It was a couple of years back. I was trying to get out of my job, and I started interviewing for a new job. Everything on the paper was amazing about this new job. Everything was great. And then the hiring manager, he offered me the job. And right away, I felt that response within my sacral just go down. I felt it. And even before the guy offered me the job offer, I remember talking it out with a few friends. And every time I would ask my sacral a yes/no question, my sacral would always say no. And I was very new to human design at the time. I had just started my experimentation. Like, no, it cannot be that simple. I'm not going to listen to it. I just went ahead with what my mind wanted to do because it looked good on paper, because of my egotistical reasons, all that combined, and it ended up being the worst decision in my life. My health deteriorated with that job. Everything was just a state of chaos in my life. It was one of the worst decisions that I've ever made in my entire life, and that is because I did not listen to my sacral. So don't be like me. Don't do big decisions. Don't go against your sacral with big decisions. That is the first thing I'll say. If your sacral says no, honor it, listen to it, no matter how excited, no matter how compulsive it feels for you. Sometimes what tends to happen is that when we get super excited about a decision, we may confuse that it's our sacral. However, we may have been around some emotionally defined people. Or we may be, if your emotional center is defined, then you could be on your high wave of your emotional center, and therefore you feel excited. And therefore you jump and you make that decision when it is not going to be the correct decision for you. So always pay attention to that. If you feel that emotional high, then be a little bit careful. Even if you have that undefined emotional center, because you could be riding off somebody else's emotional wave, and that could create that confusion within you, especially when you let your mind intervene, right? Because when you're making decisions out of your undefined centers, your mind is going to intervene. The conditioning is going to intervene, and it's going to be a bad decision for you. So yeah, that is something that is super important for you to keep in mind. And the quality of your sacral response is going to differ on the center it's going to be connected to. So I already talked about sacral being connected to throat, right? If it's connected to throat, then you're literally going to feel that bodily response. Some people who have it connected to the throat, they talk about something going up their throat, like literally they feel that grunt coming out of their chest because of that connection to their throat. So that is something else to pay attention to. If you have your sacral connected to your spleen center, then you're going to feel a very in the body response. Like it's just going to drop. The no, it's going to come at the same time where it drops. Anytime you have it connected to the splenic center, what I have found useful for people that have this is to go back to a time where you did end up making the wrong decision and how you felt in your body when you were making that wrong decision. That is going to help you discern when something is right for you or wrong for you. And also alternatively, right, when you did something nice, when something good happened, when you actually made a good decision, right then, what was the response that your body said out loud? That feeling that came in your body. So again, you do have to make sure your sacral grunt is matching what your splenic center is saying, because your spleen is not your primary authority. Your sacral is going to be a primary authority, but that is going to be a good nuance for you. Also, when your spleen is connected to your sacral center, the sacral center, when it says yes to something, it means that from a physical perspective, from a physical well-being perspective, this decision is good for you. And when it says no, it means don't make this decision because from a well-being perspective, this is the wrong move for you. If you make this move, you're going to run into a lot of health issues later on in life. Now, if your sacral center is connected to your G center, then your sacral center is giving you the response of, oh, this is something that directionally is going to be a good fit for me. It's showing me the correct way where I'm supposed to go. If your sacral center is connected to your emotional solar plexus center, then your sacral response is going to depend upon the emotional waves. So with that, let me get into the emotional authority now, because that is going to be very important. 50% of our people have emotional authority. If you have an emotional authority, then you're not someone who is designed to make decisions when you are at an emotional high or emotional low. You have to be at an emotionally neutral place before you make decisions. So what this means is that when people go around saying, hey, if you're that excitement is your sign, guess what? That is not true for you. Because an emotional high is not where you want to be making decisions. This is going to be a bad move for you. When you are at that emotional neutral place, and emotional authority there's never going to be a time where you're going to be completely emotionally neutral. That does not exist. But you can get to a relatively good place of that emotional neutrality, and then you lean into your secondary authority. In this case, if you're watching this video, your secondary authority is your sacral authority, because that is the next defined center for you after your emotional solar plexus. So in that case, then you ask your sacral yes/no question and you get the response. You get the yes response, you get the no response, or you get the not right now response. But it is going to be extremely important for you to make sure that you are at that relatively emotionally neutral place. If you find it very confusing to understand your place of clarity, you could try taking 3 different samples. A couple of hours before where you feel maybe 80% neutral, where you feel 70% neutral, and then see what your response looks like over the course of that time, and then you can check in with your sacral. The last piece that I want to mention within authorities, and this is something that I tend to forget at times as well, is to lean into your cognition. Your cognition will help you understand your authority a lot better. This is going to require a bit of an advanced human design chart, but if you don't have access to it, I'm going to give you a link down below. You can go over there. You may have to pay a little bit extra in order to get that information, but this is known as the cognition within human design. This is the top left arrow in your human design chart, and underneath that arrow, you're going to see a triangle and a circle. The triangle represents the tone, and this tone that is underneath that arrow on the top left of your human design chart, that is your cognition. Your cognition is the way your body takes something in. It's the way your body digests something. So what the trick over here is that whenever you think of that thing, whenever you think of the decision that you're trying to make, try to take it in using your cognition. Try to let your mind digest it using your cognition. And when you do that, ask your sacral the yes/no question to get a clear response. So in my case, I have tone 3, which is outer vision. With outer vision, if I'm trying to make a decision on something, I will visualize of what it is like for me to have this thing, to do this thing, to be in this thing. And then I'll ask my sacral that yes/no question about how I feel about it, if this is the right move for me or not. And that gives me a clearer response. So with cognition, there's 6 types of cognition. If you have tone 1, then your cognition is smell. If you have tone 2, Then your cognition is going to be taste. Tone 3, it's going to be outer vision. Tone 4, it's going to be inner vision. Tone 5, it's feeling. And tone 6 is touch. So depending on whatever decision you're trying to make, try to feel it, try to touch it, try to visualize it internally, try to visualize it with your eyes open, whatever is correct for you according to your cognition, and then ask your sacral a yes/no question and see if you're able to get a clear response for that decision. Right now, all these things I'm mentioning, some of the things I'm mentioning will take a longer period of time, right? And for some of them, they are meant to make long-term decisions, to make big decisions in life. If you have a pure sacral authority, it's so easy for you to make every single day decision, like minute-to-minute decision, asking that yes/no question and just moving forward with it. For emotional authorities who require a little bit of longer time, like you can't, for every little thing, you can't really rely on your emotional authority to give you that decision. So in that case, what I recommend is that do a quick clearing for yourself, right? Like do maybe a quick round of EFT so that you feel somewhat of a calm within you. And for small decisions, then go ahead and ask your sacral that yes/no question. For big decisions, yes, you do have to sleep on things before you make that decision. And everything that I'm saying right now, where I'm asking you to sleep on things and all of that, check in with your authority again if this is going to be correct for you. What works for me may not work for you. So that is something that you have to discern for yourself. And human design is meant to be an experiment in that sense, where the way all of us approach human design is going to be a little bit different in what we have found to be true within our being. So that is something super important. And yeah, with that, I'm going to end this video. I hope this video has helped you. And as a reminder, I'm going to be running a 3-day free Human Design Business Basics Bootcamp. I can easily charge $222 for this bootcamp. There's so much information in here, and it is going to be a game changer for someone who's trying to use their human design in order to run their business. Now, why would you use your human design to run a business? It is because it makes your life a lot easier. It makes your life a lot simpler. It is when you go from taking 20 takes on, for example, a YouTube video, and you find yourself extremely fatigued, not having done a single thing that day. It goes from being in that state to coming into a state of what? This is not something that's aligned for me today. You know what? I'm going to work on something else that's going to be aligned. It ends up just cutting so much of that trash, chaos, and noise in your life. And it is something that all of us need in this age of craziness, in this age of information overload. So if that is if you're looking to make your life simpler, if you're looking to run a purpose-led business, if you're looking to find that inner purpose within you so that you can anchor within it, so that you can become stronger and bigger and more expansive and attract the people who are correct for you in your life, then this bootcamp is going to be a game changer for you. It is going to be free for 3 days only. I may keep it open for a day or two for replays, but that's about it. After that, I'm going to close it, and I may end up putting it as a paid offer on my website. So until that happens, be sure you register for this bootcamp. It is happening on June 10th, and I hope to see you there. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, be sure you subscribe to it and like this video if it has helped you, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.